Hello, hello, hello. Gosh, I feel like I haven't been here with you for weeks, which I might not have been here with you for weeks, honestly. I took off the holiday season from doing any lives. So, welcome and happy New Year, happy 2020. Anyway, I'm jumping on today because I want to talk to you about something that I feel really passionate about as far as creating and designing your life, really living a life by design instead of default. And it's a belief that I live by. It's a belief I've always lived by. You know, some people that are a little bit more, I guess, not adventurous would be like, oh my gosh, what it looked like to the outside world is that, I just kind of went where, followed my bliss, right? Following my bliss. And it's a wonderful way to live. There's a lot of benefits to it, but sometimes you realize, oops, I've made the wrong turn. So you have to course correct. So if you're just joining me, I'd love for you to let me know, say hi to me. Let me know where you're calling in from or watching me from. I always love to interact when I do these live streams. So I hope that this new year finds you well and that the holidays were gentle on you. Boy, the holidays can be brutal for so many different reasons. For me, I was not with my children and my grandchild, so that was kind of like a little bit of a bummer. I always get a little weird around the holidays since moving to Florida and being away from my kids. And I know, I could go up for the holidays, but it's so cold. It's so cold up there. And they're so busy. They're so busy. They have all their families they have to visit. So I try to go up when it's not, I'm not going to be an intrusion in their lives. They're all adults now. And hi, Yvonne. They're all adults. So, they've got lives. They drive, they go do things and see people. And I just don't want to be, oh, mom's here, type of thing. I wanted to be like, mom's coming when I arrive in New York. So I have to be very strategic about it. And we will be talking a little bit about strategy, actually being strategic in your life during this Facebook Live. So I'm sure the weather's cold everywhere. It's actually a little nippy in Southwest Florida right now, but I'm enjoying it. I wake up. I love to talk weather now that I live down in Florida because it's either hot or hotter usually. But right now, it's really unseasonably cool. We have a cold front coming through, and I've been enjoying throwing on a sweatshirt, and then it's beautiful in the afternoon. And I think I'm going to do a live stream of me kind of walking around outside, show you the chickens, introduce you to everybody now that the chicks are all grown up. It's really a lot of fun. Not too much is blooming right now on the farm, although we do have a couple of pineapples that are ready to be harvested, which is super cool. All right, so let's dive in to the topic of the day, which is New Year's resolutions are, to me, in my opinion, are so last decade. They're so like never for me, but they're just passe. I don't subscribe to New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in waiting until the end of the year and then making all my big resolutions for the new year ahead. I've never done that. I've always followed nature, her cycles, and I've always worked with the moon. And it's something I teach in my inner circle group, the Goddess Lifestyle Sisterhood. It's about living in harmony and in tune with nature and her rhythms, following the moon cycles, working with the different astrological archetypes that actually come in throughout every month via the moon, and of course once a month or so with the sun. And it's living seasonably and always holistic and natural. So I love that. And I actually did put a link to it because although enrollment is closed right now to join the sisterhood, it'll reopen again around the spring equinox, I believe. I'm planning it. So that's around March, and you can jump in. It's going to be in a few months. So I love to send the women on the wait list some juicy information and get you like excited about what's behind the curtain of being in the sisterhood group. So if you want to grab those juicy bonuses and handouts from me, definitely click that link above and just get on the mailing list, get on the wait list and see what it's all about. See if it's something that you're vibing with. I'm sure you're going to love it and love the information you get. So one of the things I don't do is resolutions. And I thought, well, it's pretty much the first week of the new year. So let me talk about into that a little bit. I don't like resolutions. Resolutions are all about busting ass and changing your life in a drastic way, which I have found to be completely impossible. Yes, sometimes you have to make drastic changes. If you're given a diagnosis that you are very upset about, if something happens to you in your life where the rug gets pulled out from underneath you, you have to make drastic changes. You're forced into those. But we're busy women, right? We're busy women living these busy lives. So making all these resolutions that I'm going to now change into this other person, and I resolve to, go to the gym 3 times a week and do this, that's kind of really hard to follow through with consistently. And consistency is really the key to life, is kind of really showing up. It builds momentum. It builds momentum not only in life, but in your business as well if you have one. Consistency is always key. What you're doing most of the time. And it's the same thing with your health, your weight, your wellness, your relationships. It's what you're doing most of the time that really, really affects the outcome. So I'm not into these whole resolutions. I think they're passé. That's why I love kind of just taking a look at my life on a monthly basis, following the moon. And then also, hi, Jacqueline. Nice to see you, sweetie. Nice to have you here. So I like to take a look at my life all throughout the year, not just waiting. And when I'm asking the right questions, and what I mean by the right questions could be is, what's really important to me? What do I want? What's not working for me? Where do I feel out of alignment in my life? What area of my life needs more attention? What area of my life needs less attention? In other words, am I staring at it, just like obsessing on something to be different that isn't where I want it to be? Who do I want to be with? Who do I want to spend my time with? Right. And it's one of the things that my husband Shannon has taught me. And, I knew it, I guess, but like he really feels that time is the only unrenewable resource that we have. You can have all the money in the world, but time is non-renewable. You can't make more time. We all have a certain amount of time left. We all have a certain amount of sunrises and sunsets left. Yes, it's a grim thought when we think about it, but it really puts life into perspective, ladies. What do you want to experience with the time you have left on this planet? What desires have you been talking yourself out of or derailing, manifesting in your life? When is it going to be enough? When is it going to be enough that you say, you know what, no more. I am going to live the shit out of this life. I am going to ride the shit out of this life. And how I like to put it is, I want to squeeze all the juice out of this fruit called life. I'm going to just squeeze every drop of it out. And you really need to be honest with yourself. There have been times in my life where I have become present to the fact that I am not happy. I am not happy. The choices I made led me to a place where I was not feeling fulfilled. I was not feeling like I was where I wanted to be in many, if not all of the key areas of my life. So just let me know if you resonate with that. Have you been there too, where you're like, oh my gosh, my finances aren't where I want them to be. I'm not doing my soul work in the world. I'm doing a job and I hate this job. It's a fucking job, but I'm staying in this job, or I'm staying in this relationship. Or I'm staying in this friendship. Let's just even call it down to friends. We can just kind of, dial it out a little bit. Friendships. Like, do your friends serve you? Or are they encouraging you to be more? Or are they really, really making you feel like less? Are they kind of squashing or taking the wind out of your sails, squashing your dreams? Are they dream crushers? You really want to be mindful of who you're spending your time with, because time is the most valuable of all your resources, because we can't renew it. So what are you spending your time doing? These are the things I'm taking a look at, and I take a look at them often. But I really I felt like one or more of you needed to hear this. Like, what are you doing? How many times have you made the same resolution and you're not getting her done? It's time. Now. Life is now. today, this moment, and then the next moment. It's not next year. God willing, you will have next year and many more years. But when is it going to be time for you to take a stand for your life, your happiness, your health, your desires, right? So it's something that I am always teaching about. It's something I'm always thinking about myself. It's the way I live life. And how I do that, like I said, is living rhythmically. That encourages me to live in accordance with nature and the lessons of nature, in accordance with the seasons and what the seasons teach us, the wisdom of each season, and of course the wisdom of the moon and all the archetypes she passes through every month. So lots and lots of reminders when you live in tune with nature, and you're always looking at something. Now tomorrow is a full moon, and I believe it's full moon in Cancer, and I'll be leading Circle, and Cancer will have me and therefore my inner circle group, the Goddess Lifestyle Sisterhood, looking at areas of their life that Cancer teaches us the value of. And it's nurturing. Are you nurturing yourself? Right? It's we're so easily, as women, we're wired to nurture others, nurture our children, nurture our community, nurture the things we love. But are we nurturing what we need as well? Because a full vessel is the only vessel that could pour any water or liquid, right? So if you're not filling your vessel up and nurturing you, how can you really effectively nurture anyone else and also any of your desires, right? We become very depleted when we're not mindful of living in accordance with nature. And in nature, you see the 4 seasons, right? You see winter, spring, summer, and fall. And winter right now, which we're experiencing in the Northern Hemisphere, is all about rest and rejuvenation. It's about going inward and reflection and nurturing. And so you might be instinctually feeling like you want to take it easy a little bit more. Gift yourself with that, please. Gift yourself with saying no to obligations that are non-necessary. Now, I spent many years of my life thinking that all my obligations were necessary, but that was only because I never wanted to let anybody down. But in the long run, I let myself down because I depleted myself. And when I did show up to do things, I wasn't in a great energy. It was a resentful energy. It was I'm exhausted energy. That's not the energy I choose to bring to anything in my life anymore. I choose to bring a high vibration, a vibration of really wanting to be there energetically, physically, the whole thing. So anything that falls short of that, I say no to, and I take care of me, which leaves me feeling rested, rejuvenated, happier, less pinched up, I'll tell you that, less bitchy. but the point is that more and less resentful, right? We want to be looking, ladies, moving forward at what really lights us up. What really lights you up? What do you really want to say yes to in your life? And then go about moving in that direction. And that's why I don't like resolutions. They're too radical, and we are so busy. So for me, it's about taking a look at things throughout the course of the year when I'm reminded to, whether it be seasonally or, astrologically, the zodiac, where the stars and the planets are, taking a look at each key area of my life, and then giving the care where it needs to be given in that particular time, and then moving on to the next thing. And some of the things that I'm working on this year is I was given direct information from source that I needed to start eating more live foods. Now, if you've been in my world for a while, you know that, health and wellness is literally the most important thing to me, because if you don't feel well, you don't feel full of vitality, you really don't have the energy to transform anything in your life and get things done in your life. And I'm highly ambitious. So I'm always thinking, well, how can I age full of vitality? And Yvonne says, I used to do anything for an easy life, but all it did was make me exhausted, bitter, and resentful. Exactly, Yvonne. I know. I've been there too. I totally get that. And that's why I am on my soapbox right now. Thank you for affirming that's how it showed up for you. You know, and a lot of it comes because we're kind-hearted. That's part of it. But also girls are really taught, be nice and say yes. Say yes and don't be mean. Don't hurt anybody's feelings. Don't disappoint anybody. For some reason, that I think culturally is really impressed upon girls. Maybe not anymore. I really feel like the feminine has been on the rise and women are really starting to step into their power. I mean, it's exciting to watch as a leader in the women's empowerment industry. I love to see women like saying, no, I'm taking a rest. No, I'm not Superwoman. I'm Superwoman, but even Superwoman rests. You know what I mean? I consider myself Superwoman. I do it all. I really do. However, I take care of me. I take care of Lisa. And I believe that's more of the message of today, which is why it's so important with women of a certain age. And that means if you're not a millennial, I think millennials kind of got this down, honestly. But if you're not a millennial like me, and we've been taught something different, and we have to start to reframe and transform our default thoughts and our default patterns. It's really that easy, but not simple, right? To undo a lifetime of what we were taught. And then, of course, you know, wanting to be this person who helps and serves, you got to help yourself first. One of the most interesting things that I think really lit the light bulb for me, I was like, oh my goodness, was when I had a realization on a plane. Because, you know, part of me journeying to the woman you see today was I started going on business trips. I started my business. And by the way, ladies, I'm just going to say, shameless plug here. If you have a desire in your heart to start or own a business, online business, oh, for crying out loud, just do it. It's the best thing I ever did. It's also the most challenging thing I've ever done, honestly. Online business is not for sissies, I'll tell you that right now. But oh my goodness, the things I have accomplished and the things I've learned to do and the fear I've had to step through and the woman I've become in the process, so worth it. So that is just what I want to say to that, because I truly want to see every woman stepping into her power. And if you have an entrepreneurial dream in your heart, oh, go for it already. Go for it already. Reach out to me if you need help. There's so much help out there. And then, of course, there's Google, which is, there's never a lack of resources. It's a lack of resourcefulness. And I truly believe a woman who is a present day goddess is resourceful. She's resourceful. So be in that. Open to that divine guidance, be open to resourcefulness, think outside the box, and just go for it. So I was talking a little bit about if you're a millennial, just disregard. And I don't really think my ideal client is a millennial particularly. I think it's a woman that's about, 35 and older. And I truly believe we were taught that we needed to be kind and nice and do and say yes as girls. And this goes in. So it's really about retraining and taking a look at our belief systems. It's that really simple, but it's not easy to do. We have to retrain our thoughts. And that is a whole neuroscience thing. It's stuff I geek out on and I help my clients with. I help the gals in my sisterhood with, but that's not the topic for this kind of discussion on the public page. So I won't go into it now and bore you with it, but it's super cool how the brain works and how we can truly transform our thoughts, and our thoughts become our reality. So there is science to it. You can create the life you desire. So the takeaways for today, my loves, are time is your only non-renewable resource. So what are you doing with your time? Are you spending it truly, truly loving what you're doing, loving who you're with, whether it's a friendship or your intimate partner? What are you spending your time doing? Are you more in suffering or worry, or are you in acceptance and flow and loving what is, right? Loving what is, because life is not always how we want it to be. It's how we respond to life that really makes the difference, right? What do you really want to do with your life? Really, if you've had an entrepreneurial dream or a dream of changing employment, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? One of the ways that I have always lived life is I just went with what I felt in my heart. And it's about following your bliss. And yes, to my friends and family, I look batshit crazy sometimes. But I really realize that I don't have to explain myself to anybody. Those who truly love me will get me. They will get me. And I got to tell you, I've done a lot of things that have pissed off my friends and family over time. I've said no to going places. I've moved away from my children. They were very angry at first. Maybe they even felt abandoned. But I really feel now that I want to model for them what it looks like to really take care of your soul, to take care of your soul, and to take care of your body, and to take care of your mind, and really be who you're meant to be. Reach your full potential in this lifetime. Live the life you're meant to live. And you can't do that by asking permission from everybody you know. You have to just go for it. You know, there's an old saying, I'd rather ask for an apology than for permission, right? And I'm paraphrasing, but that might be the saying. And as much as I don't like to ruffle feathers, I realize that this is my one life. And I'm going to say that to you, ladies, this is your one life. What do you want it to look like? Live a life by design. Make powerful decisions. And then follow them. Follow your bliss wherever it leads you. It's an adventure. Sometimes things blow up in your face. Sometimes you belly flop. But the great news is that you could always pivot. We learn. We can choose to learn from our experiences. We can just take leaps of faith. And I have found every time I've taken a leap of faith, a net was there to catch me. It really was. So this is my encouragement for you. Make 2020 your most empowered and most magical year yet. And of course, I'm here for you. You know, you could always reach out to me if you wanted to take a look at private coaching. You can absolutely link above, get on the wait list for the sisterhood, because I'm in there every day talking this kind of stuff up, right? We're a bunch of women who are designing and stepping into our most magical, empowered life possible. All right. So I don't know yet if I'm going to see you next week. I'm away on business in Lake Tahoe. So I don't know. I've never been to Lake Tahoe, so I'm excited to see Lake Tahoe. Let me know if you've ever been to Lake Tahoe and anything I should be checking out, or restaurant I should be eating in, or whatever. I don't know how much extra time I'll have, but I love to have recommendations if you have any. And I will definitely try to do a live next Wednesday. Okay. So hi, Marissa. It's so good to see you. All right, my love. So definitely give me some feedback in the comments. I love to hear what's on your mind, and let me know that if this resonated with you. And most importantly, if you feel like it, tell me what you're going to create in 2020. What are you calling in? What are you creating? How are you going to live a life by design? I want to know. Okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.